I wasn't here Friday. Kelly, you, and JP, I thought did a really, really good job of dealing with the news of the untimely, to say the least, passing of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau the day before their sister's wedding. We all know the story by now. It sucks, man. Like that's all there is really to say about it. I know I've said over the years, like, you know, Guy, their father, like taught me to skate. He did most of Gloucester County, most of South Jersey. If you're around my age, younger, older, there's a real good chance you had Guy as a coach at some point. And like the spreading of hockey throughout South Jersey, especially Gloucester County, like cannot be discounted how much of an impact the entire Gaudreau family had on that. From, I mean, yeah, starting with Guy, but then when Johnny goes to BC, it's, oh my, look at this guy winning national championships and the national championship in Wells Fargo Center, like then goes to the NHL. And I think everybody who played in South Jersey in one way or another just kind of felt like they made it, because none of us knew of anyone, especially reaching that level before. And we were just all so proud of Johnny. And it sucks, man. It just sucks. But it's one of those things that you see how tight-knit the community is. I went over to Hollydale yesterday to check out the Gaudreau memorial that they have set up in front of the building. A lot of people have left sticks, left Skittles, left Gatorade and stuff, pucks, gloves, whatever. I left a couple of sticks there, wrote a note to the family on one of them. I have no use for the sticks, you know, but it was just very nice to see like how many people. It just shows you how much of an impact that they had, you know, different generations. There are people there far younger than me. There are people there far older than me. And it's a loss. It's a loss for the entire community, the hockey community. Like they're saying on Flyers Daily today, it's a small world. We say all the time, like there's the 100 hockey men. Like everyone knows everyone in some way in hockey. And I've never tried to like overblow, like, oh, I know the Gaudreaus. I know people who are directly affected by this. I am separated by a few degrees. I've said hello to Johnny a few times. Obviously, yeah, when I was a kid, Guy was integral in teaching me how to skate and play and whatnot. But, you know, you see how many people are affected by this and how close so many people are to the situation. It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. And this is the toughest it's been with the new swearing ban, or at least the toning down. But I just got to say, man, if this can take it straight out of my swear jar, if everyone can be like 10% less of an asshole, that would be tremendous. Like just 10%. You think you got to get somewhere. You think you're the only person. I think JP said it great on Friday. Like you think where you're going is the most important thing in the world. I have to be in front of this car because I just like be 10% less of a JO, and we could probably avoid a lot of this stuff. Like Kelly, you brought up just a few weeks ago in Philly, like almost the exact same thing happened to a bicycler in a bike lane. Like if we could avoid that and not destroy families, communities, that would be cool. Like if that's the lesson we take from this, dope. Yeah.
There's also something beautiful in the way that everyone is celebrating them, the family and the boys and all that stuff. It's obviously horrible when it has to come from something like this, but I do think that there is an opportunity to take something positive from it. And if you can do that, I think, you know, makes it a little less horrific to think about.
It really sucks that it often can take a big event for it to register in people's heads that, you know, these things are problems that, you know, I feel like we all know on some level that like drunk driving is a problem, and that was obviously a part of this. But the concept of, you know, road rage, of people getting frustrated and thinking they're the only person on the road, of the fact that cyclists really are not very well protected almost anywhere in the United States in comparison to cars. We live in a car-centric culture, and people that drive cars don't want to be bothered by cyclists, and because of that, cyclists keep getting hurt and killed, and it sucks. I don't know if this is going to change anything. I do think this probably has a higher likelihood of changing things than a random nurse, working at CHOP, which is what happened, I think, last month. Doctor, yeah. And that sucks. If something good comes out of it, that's great. Obviously, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I do want to speak a little bit about the hockey culture element of it, though, because, I mean, I often am critical of the negative aspects of hockey culture, and I do think there are a lot of them. I think that, it can be toxic. It can be, it can be insular in a negative way, in that people aren't allowed in the prestigious club because they didn't come from the right place, or they don't know the right person, or their dad didn't play, or things like that. And that frustrates me.
Yeah.
But I do think that over the weekend, you saw the really good parts of it. The fact that, an entire hockey world comes together and really grieves as a collective whole for something that should not have happened. And it's not that all of hockey culture is bad. There are really, really good parts of it. And there is an element of we're all in this together that I don't think necessarily exists in, football and baseball, probably because they're just larger.
Right.
Hockey is smaller.
Yeah.
And everybody does kind of feel in a way that they're connected.
Yes.
It also, I mean, and this is more on the local side, Bill spoke to this as well. I think one reason too why this hit South Jersey, the South Jersey hockey community, as hard as it did, is that it would have been very easy for Johnny especially. I mean, Matty played pro, but, he didn't make the NHL office. It wasn't a superstar by any means. It would have been very easy for Johnny just to leave and never come back and not make it clear that this area was still his home. And he never did. I mean, he was doing charity events. He would talk to kids. This was not a situation where he got drafted by a team and now he lives in Calgary, or he stayed, or he got drafted by somewhere else, or he ran off and signed with LA and was oh, I'm an LA person now because I'm hot, hot crap. He wasn't. I mean, the big reason why he wanted to come play in Philly, yes, it was because he grew up a Flyers fan, sure, but it was because he wanted to be close to home. Now his team is close to home. I mean, he signed with Columbus,
close to home,
not a destination place, because it was the team that was offering him a contract that was closest to South Jersey. He wanted to be close to his family, and he gave back to South Jersey. He gave back to the local hockey community in a way that he didn't have to. Yeah. He didn't have to do that.
The stories of, I mean, everyone has probably seen him at checking for charity, but kids camps, wherever, showed up all over the place. Matt also coach back at Gloucester, back at Gloucester Catholic, where they both went to high school. It's yeah, man. They were very much willing to be part of the community. Everyone in sports, everyone in hockey knew, oh yeah, man, Johnny's he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
It was a known thing that they're Philadelphia fans. It was a known thing where they're from, to the point where they would bring people back here to do charity events at Hollydale or in the area and have everyone at the camps. There's a reason you can go to Hollydale and see dudes, even though an NHL team is at Voorhees. It's yeah, but guys still go back to Hollydale. It's because there's kind of that acceptance there, and it starts with Johnny and his family, and it is a very tight-knit community, and you see it. So if you can do just a little thing, man, go see one of the memorials, put a stick out on your porch, whatever it is. Support the hockey community right now, because I think everyone's kind of hurting.
Yeah, it was tough weekend, and it's not gonna get easier.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
it sucks. It just that's all there is to it.
Yeah, yes. And it'll be something that we're thinking about all season. The first game that Columbus plays without Johnny, and just all that stuff. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and it's something that didn't have to happen. And that's the worst part.
Absolutely.
We all silly like the mayor.